Okay, welcome back in. I'm now going to be reviewing Friday's action from the NHL. There are only 4 games on tap, so let's hope we can get through this fairly quickly. The Carolina Hurricanes were in Washington to take on the Capitals. Now, the big headline was Evgeny Kuznetsov playing against his former team. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, but like on the very first play of the game, the whistle was blown dead like 6 seconds into the game. And then Ovechkin and Kuznetsov kind of were skating beside each other, and Ovechkin purposely tripped Kuznetsov. There wasn't a penalty on the play, but there was just a little humor they had between the two former best friends. As obviously they won the cup with the Capitals back in 2018. So uh, Sebastian Aho would kick things off for the Hurricanes in the first period. For Aho, that'd be his 28th goal of the year from Gensel and Slavin, 6 minutes and 53 seconds in that frame. Sonny Milano would tie the game up, getting his 11th goal of the year, assisted by McMichael, and that goal happened with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go on the clock. A power play goal to note. Slavin would give the Hurricanes a 2-1 lead with 48 seconds to go on the clock. For Slavin, that'd be his 5th goal of the season from Kotkaniemi and Nuisen. After 20 minutes of play, the Hurricanes had a 2-1 lead. Alex Ovechkin would strike in the second, tying the game up at 2. 6 minutes into that frame, with 6 minutes remaining on the clock. For Ovechkin, that'd be his 24th of the year from Dylan Strome and Miro Shishkinin. Sonny Milano would strike, getting his second goal of the game with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go on the clock. For Milano, that'd be his 12th goal of the year, assisted by Dylan Strome. Sebastian Aho would tie the game up with 4 minutes and 37 seconds to go. For Aho, that'd be his second goal of the game, his 29th of the season, assisted by Jake Gensel. And it just would look like this game might be tied at 3 heading into the third period. Braden Shea would give the Hurricanes a 4-3 lead, getting his 11th goal of the year, assisted by Nietzsche's. So after 40 minutes of play, the Hurricanes had a 4-3 win. 4-3 lead. John Carlson would strike in the third, getting his 6th of the season from LaPierre and Alex Ovechkin. A power play goal to note, 3 minutes and 45 seconds in the period. Sonny Milano would get a natural hat trick, getting his 3rd of the season. So his third of the game, his 13th of the season from Sandin and Dylan Strome. And that goal happened 8 minutes and 19 seconds in the period. Just a minute and 16 seconds after that, Seth Jarvis would strike, getting his 27th goal of the year from Gensel and Svechnikov, a power play goal to note. Connor McMichael would give the Capitals another lead, getting his 16th of the season from Van Riemsdyk and Miro Shishkinin. For McMichael, that'd be his 16th of the year, like I said. That goal happened with 6 minutes and 7 seconds to go on the clock. Sebastian Aho would strike yet again, getting a hat trick, getting his 30th of the year from Nietzsche and Brett Burns, and that goal happened with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go on the clock. So a lot of scoring, to say the least. There was nothing settled in overtime, so we had to go to a shootout where Dylan Strome would be the hero, prevailing for the Capitals with a 7-6 win. So they had so many chances that this game could have ended. The Hurricanes were just relentless, would not go away. They were only able to get a point out of this, but still, they fought hard against this Capitals team. So 7-6 would be the final score. With the win, the Capitals are 34, 26, and 9. They're just behind Detroit by like a point or two in the standings, so they're very close to making the playoffs. But again, both those teams still have X amount of games left of the season, so only time will tell to see which one's in and which one's out by season's end. And despite the overtime loss, the Hurricanes are 44, 20, and 7. They are still sitting second in that Metropolitan Division, and I believe they're only a point behind the Rangers to take over first. So they're very good. They are a very, very good team. Alrighty, now let's take a look and see the rest of the games. So Dallas and Pittsburgh is the next matchup that we are going to take a look at. All right, let's take a look and see just how this matchup went. So in the first, Bunting would kick things off for the Penguins, just 2 minutes and 45 seconds in that frame. That'll be his 16th goal of the year from Malkin and Joseph. Joe Pavelski would strike 7 minutes and 16 seconds in that same frame. For Pavelski, that'd be his 25th goal of the year, assisted by Harley and Jason Robertson. After 20 minutes of play, we had 2 goals, 1 apiece. Jamie Benn would strike in the second period with a power play goal. For Benn, that'd be his 14th goal of the year from Heiskin and Jason Robertson, 5 minutes and 52 seconds in the period. He would strike yet again, 7 minutes and 9 seconds in that frame. So 2 goals in basically a minute and 17 seconds. For Ben, that'd be his 15th goal of the year, assisted by Stan Coven. So heading into the third period, the Stars had a 3-1 lead. Sam Steele would increase lead to 4-1, getting his 8th of the year from Craig Smith, 4 minutes and 37 seconds in the frame. Raquel would cut the deficit to 4-2 with just under 9 minutes to go, 8 minutes and 57 seconds to be exact. For Raquel, that'd be his 11th goal of the year from Malkin and Bunting. But unfortunately, the Penguins were not able to mount a comeback, so 4-2 would be the final score in favor of the Stars. So with the win, the Stars are 43-19-9. They are currently sitting second in that Central Division. And as for the loss, the Pittsburgh Penguins are 30-9, and they're struggling, and it is very likely they are going to be missing the postseason for the second consecutive season. And after the big splash last year with getting Carlson on your team, you thought you'd be improving them, but this is the oldest team in the league. So it's very looking like this team will be in rebuild mode very soon. Alrighty, staying in the Central Division, we have the Colorado Avalanche, and they are playing host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Alrighty, let's take a look and see just how this game went. So in the first period, Severson would kick things off for the Blue Jackets, getting his 7th goal of the year from Gaudreau and Boone Jenner, 4 minutes and 28 seconds in that frame. With exactly 9 minutes to go on the clock, Cale Makar would strike, tying the game up at 1. For Makar, that'd be his 18th goal of the season, assisted by Lehkonen and Drouin. Man, as a Habs fan, I miss both those guys, but for Drouin, where the hell was this? I don't think he ever had 30 assists for us, ever, in his tenure as a member of the Habs. In the second period, Colton would give the Avalanche a 2-1 lead. For Colton, that'd be his 15th goal of the season from Wood and Zach Parise, 5 minutes and 43 seconds in that frame. 7 minutes and 7 seconds in that same period, Mikko Rantanen would strike, getting his 38th goal of the year from Manson and Girard, giving the Avalanche a 3-1 lead. Heading into the third period. McKinnon would strike in the third, getting his 43rd goal of the year from Cale Makar, 6 minutes and 1 second in that frame. Just a minute and 13 seconds after that, Rantanen would strike yet again, getting his 39th goal of the year from McKinnon and Jonathan Drouin, a power play goal to note. Nichushkin would increase lead to 6-1 with 6 minutes and 22 seconds to go on the clock. For Nichushkin, that'd be his 26th goal of the year, assisted by Mittelstadt and Mikko Rantanen. So 6-1 would be the final score in favor of Colorado. So with the victory, the Avalanche are 45-20-5. They are currently sitting first in that very crowded Central Division. And as for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 23-35-12 is where we stand at the end of this matchup. Alrighty, the last game from Friday took place in Arizona. We had the Coyotes, and they were taking on the Seattle Kraken. So both these teams unlikely to make the playoffs this season. We'll take a look and just to see how this went. So there's no scoring in the first 40 minutes of play. We have to jump ahead to the third period, where Evans would get his first goal of the season for the Seattle Kraken, assisted by McCann and Jaden Schwartz. 7 minutes and 40 seconds in that period. Clayton Keller would strike, just a minute, 8 seconds remaining on the clock. For Keller, that'd be his 29th goal of the year from Bustad and Nick Schmaltz. We would need overtime to settle this one, and Genther would play hero with just 48 seconds to go on the clock, getting his 11th goal of the season, assisted by Cooley. So 2-1 would be the final score in favor of the Arizona Coyotes. With the victory, they're 29-36-5, and after the overtime loss, the Kraken are 28-28-13. Alrighty, that takes care of my recap from Friday's action of the NHL. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.